Hello, everybody. Hope you're all having a good day today. Uh, some of you that frequent my Thursday streams may realize that we're a little. It's a different game today, and the reason for that is that on the last Thursday stream, we were having some real problems with my computer being unable to run Ghost of Tsushima and handle the encoding for the stream and all that. I was supposed to have a day earlier this week off. And I was planning on using that to get my streaming PC finally set up, get all that handled. Um, but unfortunately, there was a bit of a problem with all of that, and it meant that I didn't have the time to actually do that. So last Tuesday, I said that since we finished uh, Chibi Robo, that if I didn't have the time to actually get my streaming computer all set up and ready to go before the start of this stream, that we were just going to be playing, we were just going to be starting a new game for what is going to be the new Tuesday, because now I've got today and I think the day after next off. So anyway, yeah, we're going to be playing a different game today. I've almost got it up and going here. There we go. Okay. Let me get this swapped over to this. Get that handled. Actually, let me check something here. Yeah, okay. Okay. Not that. Here we go. Okay, and now I just got to get the system music set up. Wait, not that's the wrong one. There we go. So, one of my favorite games on the place of Sony's, like the ones that Sony actually owns the rights to, is actually Ratchet Clank. And all right, is the Ratchet and Clank series. And this is a game I've been wanting to play here on stream for a fair bit. So that's what we're going to be playing today. Or starting up today. Yes, we'll format. There we go. Kaizo Plateau. And for anyone that only got into it on the Ratchet and Clank reimagining, as I prefer to call it, get ready for a very different Ratchet.
Final step, attach robotic ignition system. Thank you for using help desk technology.
He's a lot more of a, not arrogant, but just tired of everything jerk in this first game. Later games, he mellows out a little bit more. Hey, Clank. For anyone that may be wondering why it's square, this is a PS2 game. PS2 games, back then still mostly had, was it 3x5, 4x5, something like that, resolutions. Because the TVs were still mostly square. Some games later in the PS2's lifespan did have a proper widescreen, but it still wasn't a very common thing. So most games defaulted to the square, and then you go into settings to tell it, hey, do widescreen instead. But this being the first game in the series, it didn't have that option. So we're stuck with the square screen. I could technically force the widescreen, but then it would make everything look all stretched. So, yeah. Alright, oh jeez, I forgot about that. Oh, am I just gonna have to get used to that? I might just have to get used to that. Oh, that's gonna suck. Oh. Subtitles are on. There we go. There we go. I prefer that it's in the direction that you want.
Welcome to the Gadgetron Help Desk. We're here to offer you advice during your interplanetary travels. The Help Desk is a free service provided by Gadgetron Corporation.
So in the Ratchet Clank games, we are going to have to buy our weapons. Right now, all that we have is our wrench, which is a pretty handy thing to begin with. Let's do that. Left and right. We want normal. There we go. That feels better. Whoa. Okay. It has been a bit since I've charged this controller. Give me 1 sec here. I gotta plug it in. Didn't quite realize how long it's been. Now that I think about it, it's actually been about as long since the last time we played Sly Cooper. So I guess that makes a fair bit of sense. Alright. With it plugged in, should have infinite time now. Not have to worry about it. Oh, and yeah, so in this first game, unlike in later games, there wasn't like a numbered health. It's those little nanite clusters up at the top. There is a way to get more of them later, and you can get them pretty easily. But yeah, the game developers didn't really intend for us to be getting hit that much in this first section, so might have to be a little bit more careful. You can see exhausted and tired.
You can interrupt help desk messages by...
I can interrupt you by just pressing that button. Alright, you can actually see up there on the cliff, there's some more nanites. Okay, so we do still have our...
Gadgetron's OmniWrench 8000 includes a new card store feature. To activate it, use the R1 button to crouch, and then press the square button. You just picked up nanotech. Whenever you sustain injury, your Gadgetron's patented nanotech system will build your body from the inside out.
Yep. So it's those, basically each one is a hit. There we go. With that, we now have enough to use our bomb glove for the first time. So if there's one thing that this game series is known for, aside from, I think, being actually really funny, and being one of like Insomniac's first games, it's the weird weapons. Obviously, a glove that you use to throw bombs doesn't seem all that weird, but trust me, once we get to some of the later ones, we'll get to some really weird stuff. Also, I wouldn't count this as a spoiler, but there's a character that you meet in just about every game, and he is always a very, shall we say, odd individual that may have odd implications as to his capabilities. Just realized I forgot to check how the game's audio looks. Okay, game's audio is decently high. Maybe I'll tune it up just a little bit. There we go.
Use your bomb glove. Press the circle button to equip it, and the circle button again to fire it. You can also use it in first person by holding down the L1 button.
So, yeah, bomb glove, not all that weird. There's gonna be some weird ones later. Oh, you. Stop running, you cowards. Also, another thing that this game series is known for is the fact that after the first game, the titles for every single game is some kind of innuendo or pun. Literally, the second game is called Up Your Arsenal. It still tickles. But yeah, so every single game in this series is punny, jokey, and even their titles are like that, so. Also, I want to point out that in this first section, there is not a single line of dialogue, and yet you still have some of an idea of the characters.
Interesting.
Guy!
You're quite handy with your wrench.
You bet. I built that ship with it.
Currently, I'm in search of someone who could be of assistance in saving the solar system. Do you know where I might find that fellow?
Well, he's on the radio every week. Other than that, no. Hey, what's with all this save the solar system stuff anyway?
Hello, citizens of... My race, the Blog, have a small problem. Our planet has become so polluted, overpopulated, and poisonous that we are no longer able to dwell here. But I, Chairman Drek, have a solution. We are constructing a pristine new world using the choicest planetary components available. So, what does this mean to you, you might ask? Using highly sophisticated technology, which you couldn't possibly understand, we will be extracting a large portion of your planet and adding it to our new one. Unfortunately, this change in mass will cause your planet to spin out of control and drift into the sun, where it will explode into a flaming ball of gas. But, of course, sacrifices must be made. Thank you for your cooperation.
Cut!
And if you don't like it, you can take your whiny, sniveling, snot-nosed populations, form a line behind me, and kiss my... We're still on? Well, turn it off, you idiot!
The people on those planets are hosed. Well, good luck getting Captain Quark to help you.
Actually, you could help me. If you could use your ship to take me to the coordinates contained in this infobot, I might be able to gather further information there.
Even if I wanted to, I can't. I'm missing a crucial component of the ship.
The robotic ignition system.
How did you know that?
I, sir, happen to be equipped with the latest in robotic ignition systems. My programming allows me to start any ship I choose.
So, I agree to take you to this wherever it is, and you get my ship started for me?
That is what I'm proposing.
Time to go.
Deal.
This could be a problem. Take care of it.
Whoa, this is great! So that's where I've been stuck this whole time.
Please return your appendages to the steering mechanism, sir.
Huh? Oh, right. Sorry. Oh, and by the way, you can stop calling me sir. The name's Ratchet.
Pleased to make your acquaintance, sir.
You got a name?
My serial number is V54296.
Oops. I'll just call you Clank for short. Hang on.
So you see, it would be most beneficial if your citizens were not in the city when my workers begin removing it.
Preposterous! I will not stand for this.
Unfortunately, you have no choice in the matter.
Let's just see what Captain Quark has to say about that, my good man. I don't see what's so funny. Captain Quark could dispatch you without even breaking a sweat, you puny...
You have now officially worn out your welcome and my patience.
This is your last chance. Stop this madness now!
Okay, wait. You're right. I will withdraw my troops.
Really?
No! He's all yours, gentlemen. Try not to leave any marks.
Yeah, cartoonishly evil. But hey, look, I'm all for people being like, hey, we need, you know, villains or enemies that are more than just one note. But
Where are you?
I think
Oh, sorry about
I'll
that.
get to what I was saying in a sec.
Well, we're not leaving the way we came in.
Perhaps we could procure a ship from one of the inhabitants.
If there are any left.
But yeah, I think that even though having these like slightly more nuanced characters is a good, and in my case, and I very much welcome that kind of thing. Too often nowadays, it's just, hey, they're a bad guy, but you shouldn't. But you should feel bad for them. That's not right. So, here's our weapons.
Hi there, Fuzzball.
Hey, man. So, bomb glove ammo, and then our pyro cider. All right, we need 2,500 for that. So, I'm not going to go the way the game wanted me to, because there's stuff up here. Just like in most games at the time, instead of like full-on exploration, they had multiple areas, paths that you could take. Also, just in case anyone's wondering, yes, expect some stereotypes. But honestly, as long as the way that I feel about it, as long as the stereotypes themselves aren't insulting, I don't really see a problem with it. And yes, there's a fine line between just a general stereotype and an insulting stereotype. But, you know, just don't be a jerk about it. It's the same way as basically, hey, don't have your villains be one note. Just because they're not one note doesn't mean that they can't still be evil. Oh, right. Crud, I forgot. Can I even... Oh, no, I can. There we go. Also, this is like, I was gonna say longest running game from my childhood, but considering that Kingdom Hearts is in that, I could be wrong there. I will say it is I will say it is one of the most prolific games from my childhood. I think Up Your Arsenal came out just like 2 or 3 years after this game. So the second game in the series came out just a little bit after. You know, back then when it's like, hey, yeah, we're not gonna recreate, we're not gonna make the entire game brand new. We're gonna use a lot of the old stuff, but we're gonna use it in new ways.
Look, plumber's crack.
What did you just say?
I said, look, the plumber's back.
All right, wise guy. Shouldn't you be on one of them escape transports?
Escape transports?
Newsflash, giant robots attacking. The escape transports are taking all the rich folks off this god-darn planet.
So why aren't you on one?
Socioeconomic disparity.
What?
He hasn't got enough bolts.
Working people have to wait for Captain Quark to save us.
Well, got anything worth a lot of bolts?
I got this thing. Shows 2 weirdos ditching their ship. It's got coordinates to a desert planet, too.
An infobot. Ratchet, we could use that.
As someone that was a plumber for a while, this guy's cool.
Geronimo!
Did you just slide down a sewer pipe?
Why not? I've been in worse situations.
Mayday, mayday! This is the solar ship Radical. We seem to be under attack from the planet's surface.
Relax, kid. It looks like some sort of fireworks display. Probably in your honor.
Whoa! That was close! Ah!
Pipe down, I can't concentrate.
But we've been hit!
An unexpected detour. When we land, I'll see if I can scare up an exhibition for you.
We're not gonna live that long!
Kid, let's M-screen!
Eject! Eject!
Did you see that guy on the left? That was Skid McMarks.
Does he know Captain Quark?
I doubt it. He's a pro hoverboarder, always going off about how cool he is.
Looks like he's in trouble.
I'll say. I've never seen him look so freaked out.
Gadgetron infobots give you coordinates for new planets. Now that you have the infobot for planet Iridia, you'll need to find a ship to get there. To enter look-around mode, press and hold the L1 button.
Yeah, so that's how we get to new planets. Well, once we get a ship. We gotta find the infobots. Sometimes we can just find them by getting to the end of certain paths. Sometimes we'll have to do what we did with the plumber and purchase the infobot. Still a little short on the bolts to get the pyroglider. That's fine, we'll go this way.
Press the square button to dive, and the X button to rise. Push the X button harder to rise more quickly.
Right, now put our big old wrench on there, turn this bolt around, and open this place up. Now maybe we get to a specific area today, but there is something I want to do in each of these games. Well, 2 things. I guess technically 3. First, as always, beat the game. That is always the primary goal whenever I play a game, is beat it. Second one is going to be getting every... It's going to be collecting every... it's going to be collecting every weapon. The reason for that is that the games will check... like say when we get to Up Your Arsenal, there's an area where you can get the free versions of the weapons from this first game, provided that you have a save from the first game saying that you have that weapon. You can get it for free, or maybe purchase. The third thing that I want to do in each one of these is get their, I guess the best way to put it for people that don't know, is get each game's ultimate weapon. So each of the games has a quote-unquote ultimate weapon called a Rhino. It stands for Rip Ya a New One. And in later games, well, actually in every single game, the Rhino is always a quote-unquote illegal weapon. Basically, it's considered so dangerous that it's been outlawed by the government of the games, but you can still get it through other means, and I want to get each one of those as well. In this first one, it's literally just a mass of you literally buy it just for a massive number of bolts. But the massive number of bolts is so much that that unless you use a certain glitch, you're really unlikely to be able to get that in 1 or even 2 playthroughs. I don't know if this is something that they had in this first game, but in later games they made it so that if you go on multiple playthroughs, you can actually upgrade weapons.
For you today.
But I don't think that's a thing in this first one, because in later games the weapons also had like an experience level. And those experience levels basically were just like, hey, for every enemy you kill with said weapon, you get points towards the weapon's experience level, and as you go farther and farther, the weapons upgrade. They gain increased damage, increased fire rate, and some even will have, and when you finally max them out, you'll get like a upgraded version of it. Like for instance, this one, or well, better yet, the bomb glove would probably make it so the bomb spawns child bombs that spread out a little bit and explode, that kind of thing. The flamethrower might have the pyrolator might have a wider cone of the flames that it produces, that kind of stuff. Something that just makes the weapon in general better. Yeah, so we're gonna need a whole heck of a lot of bolts. But yeah, when it comes time, when we get to the area where I can do the, I guess, quote-unquote glitch that'll let us get the bolts that we need, which still isn't exactly a fast way of doing it, but it's way faster than the intended method of just playing through the game like 2 or 3 times. I'll show you guys how to do it. We'll get to the part where we can get the Rhino, then we'll go back, do that, or maybe I'll probably do that off screen because it's like a 10-15 minute thing. You just gotta kind of let go and do its thing. I'll have to look it up because it requires some somewhat precise movement. It's actually a speedrunner's clip. A speedrunner's method, because I believe Rhino is a speedrunning category. Honestly, I probably could have, if I had spent the time before, I probably could have played through this, beat it, and saved, and just not gotten the Rhino, and then done New Game Plus. But it's been so long since I played this first game, I'm not even sure if half of the stuff I'm used to from later games is a part of it. So I didn't want to run the risk of being like, okay, New Game Plus. Oh, New Game Plus doesn't exist in this first game. That was when they added it too. Oh, dang it. tried. Alright. Oh, hold on, guys. Got a bot showing up. There we go. Okay. I really need to go into the moderation bot I have and make sure to put in, if anyone uses the phrase remove the space, it automatically deletes it. Because, you know, that's a phrase that isn't going to get used a lot by your average person, but is used every single time by these bots, so... Get as much of that as possible. There we go.
Don't hurt me. Don't hurt me. Oh, what are you? Mercenaries? Torturers? Assassins? I'll tell you anything. Here, take my infobot. It's all I've got left.
Sir, we're not assassins.
Hold on. Let's see what he's got.
I mean, in fairness, he probably would have given you this anyway, but... Don't worry, Quark. I hear that happens to a lot of people.
Hi, I'm Captain Quark, and believe me, there's nothing worse than staring down a Blargian snagglebeast from the inside and knowing your equipment isn't functioning properly. That's why I come to Al's Robo Shack for all my electronic needs. Al has been the exclusive repair shop for my super electro gadgets since I was knee-high to a sand mouse. If Al can't fix it, it's not broke. Right, Al? You said it, pal. So if you're fighting crime, or just fighting grime, come to Al's Robo Shack in Metropolis for all your robotic repairs. Al's Robo Shack, it's Quarktastic!
Do you know what this means?
Yeah, Captain Quark is really sold out.
No, it means Captain Quark is on Metropolis. We could tell him about this invasion.
If we had a ship.
What? A ship? What? You're not going to torture me? Well, as planetary chairman, I could arrange for you to borrow our courier ship.
Cool.
You can count on us, sir.
Right. Thank you, your chairman shipliness.
Now that you have coordinates to 2 new planets, you can use your ship. Press the select button to bring up the map. Your ship is marked with a star.
Yeah. So... normally at this point, I go to the I go to the planet with the surfer bro dude on it. I wonder if I should mix it up this time. Yeah, we'll go straight to where Clank says Quark. Well, Clank thinks Quark might be at. Because there's a nice movement upgrade we can get there. I will say some of the later levels in this get really stinking tough. So that's the surfer dude. Metropolis. Kerwan. Oh, and... oh. No, not that. So you can also see we missed we missed all the gold bolts here. Gold bolts are special collectibles that I think in this first one just unlock things like big head mode. That's kind of it. And in later games, they're kind of like a premium currency, I guess you could say, that's used to buy the rhino and things like that. Although in those cases, I think you need all of them. Ugh. Oh well, I want to do this. These are games I bought like every single one of them back in the PS2. Heck, it was the reason why I bought a PS3. This series was the reason why I bought a PS3. Okay, as always, look around. Make sure to collect all the bolts. Also, look at this is PS2, and granted, I've upped the You can hear the music slow down a little bit from that view. But still, it looks good.
Welcome to the Captain Quark Fitness Course. If you're strong enough, fast enough, and clever enough to beat my fitness challenge, you will receive a reward from my head trainer. Simply make your way to the third island to complete the course. Good luck. Quark Enterprises is not responsible for sprains, broken bones, snapped tendons, bruised egos, or accidental death incurred while taking the challenge.
Excuse me, Captain, but we have more pressing issues. We urgently need your assistance.
Clank?
Yes?
Do you notice anything unusual about Captain Quark?
Well, I find the fact that he has a spring where his leg should be to be quite puzzling.
And why do you think that is?
Possibly an injury incurred while battling evil?
This isn't the real Captain Quark, you numbskull. It's a robot.
Oh.
Yeah, like I said, in this first one, he's a bit more snarky, maybe even a little bit of a jerk kind of thing. That mellows out a little bit later. But I do want to point out, so we played Sly Cooper, and in a fair amount of that, some of the facial animations was just like little PNGs put over it. This came out around the same time, and even during gameplay, those are actual eyes with blinking eyelids, not PNGs on the face. Now, granted, you can kind of see some of the textures popping in as we go around a little bit, but oh well. Go. Also, when you touch those, well, if you hit them, they explode instantly. If you touch them, they get ready to explode. Got a few seconds. So yeah, this era, Insomniac was cooking. Honestly, they're still cooking nowadays, but I really wish they'd go back to some of their older series. They did do the remake of, well, I need to stop calling it a remake, because it really is more of a reimagining or a retelling of the story of the first game, just on modern hardware. The Ratchet in that game is also much more idealistic. He idolizes Quark, whereas Clank is the one that kind of does that here. Whereas in the reimagining, Ratchet's the one that is kind of idealizes him, and Clank has to kind of pull him back to reality, so to speak. But honestly, I think it's a decent one, and I think it makes for a decent entry into the series. I do very much think that this is the one people should start off with, though. Also, I do want to point out that the reimagining
These moving walls also function as jump slots.
came out with
Jump again
alongside
to kick
a
off the walls
movie,
in midair,
and in that movie, they literally talk about the game and how it's not entirely accurate because it's all from Ratchet's point of view, which, you know, if you had done a lot of soul searching and come to the realization that, ooh, yeah, I was kind of a jerk before, and you had a chance to retell it, yeah, you'd probably make yourself a little bit less of a jerk. So, you know, it's not like, oh, this is the new Ratchet, or oh, this is the new Clank, or anything. It's like, might be a little bit of don't trust the unreliable narrator there, so to speak.
Listen up, you loudballs! That was the most pathetic display I have ever seen on that obstacle course!
What do you mean?
We finished the circuit, ma'am.
Oh yeah, but it is weak. When I was competing, I would devour courses like that for breakfast.
Bet that's not all.
If it were up to me, you would drill for the rest of the day. But somehow you managed to impress that fool Captain Quark.
Captain Quark knows about us?
He certainly does. And worst of all, he wants me to give you a prize for that ridiculous performance.
Cool, what is it?
I'm supposed to give you a swing shot, so you can sway to and fro like little insects.
All right, let's see it.
Not so fast. Today, the two of you disgraced my obstacle course, so I am going to make you pay.
But that prize is ours from the captain. That's not fair.
Too bad. Life's not fair.
All right. This is why I try and gather up as much of the
I bet
bolts
Captain
as possible.
Quark uses stuff like this all the time.
Ha! Real men can swing without silly toys like that. The two of you make me sick. Congratulations on your new Gadgetron swing shot. Use it on standard versa targets like the ones nearby. If the target is out of view, use the L1 button to aim.
Oh, right. There we go. It's been a while since I've played. So yeah, all of this stuff is stuff we're gonna need. All the equipment and whatnot. That's why I made sure to come over here, because we're gonna need this. Also, pay attention to the sides of that arch over there as we get closer. Yeah. Alright. So yeah, a lot of this game's progression
Quickly center the camera. Just tap the L1 button.
is locked behind being at the right place with the right equipment. And for some of that equipment, it involves having the money to buy it. So, actually for a fair amount of it. So, gotta make sure we got plenty of bolts and whatnot. Little bit of slowdown here. Not a huge amount. But enough. Luckily, unlike other games at the time, the physics aren't tied to frame rate. I don't know who in the game industry at the time thought it was a good idea. Maybe they just figured, hey, well, on consoles we'll have a consistent frame rate, and because that's what they were used to, that's just like, hey, we don't gotta worry about it. But yeah. Hey, you don't. You get back here. Ow. I was gonna say I missed that, but I didn't. miss it. I hit it. There we go. One thing that I really think was a nice little quality of life thing in the Ratchet and Clank games that they did is that they made it so that any of the currency that falls into it, that hits a death plane, automatically comes back to you. So you don't got to worry
that's the man
about
we
it.
saw on the infobot. Remember? He knows Captain Quark.
Hey, you're that robot guy, right?
No, actually, I build robots. I myself am not a robot guy, per se.
Nerd.
I like him.
So, now that we've cleared that up, what can I do for you?
Yeah,
Well, we saw
I'm
your
very much a
infobot
Clank.
announcement. You were with Captain Quark. We're trying to find Captain Quark. We thought you could help us.
Your logic is commendable. However, I haven't seen Captain Quark since we shot that commercial. Say, do you run on standard XP18 sister boards?
Version 7.66.
Back at ya. I may be able to help you out after all. How does a helipack upgrade sound?
Upgrade?
Natch. Since he's a 766, I could have the little guy up and flying in no time. Of course, I'll just need my fee for service.
Fair enough.
Okay, this won't hurt a bit.
Hey, wait.
Once again, 1,000 bolts.
Ratchet, am I cool now?
Yeah, you the man, Clank.
You're welcome.
Hey, I paid you, man. You're like, hey, I'll do the work for this amount. I pay you. And now you're upset that I don't thank you for doing the job I paid you for.
Helipack's boost jump feature to climb these boxes. Press the R1 button to crouch, then jump.
There we go.
You'll need your new helipack
This
stretch
also
jump
has a
feature
long
across
jump.
this gap.
There we go.
While you're
See what I
running,
meant by movement
crouch
speed?
using the R1 button
Movement
and
tech.
then jump.
That's going to be real useful for later on for us to get all the bolts we need for the Rhino.
Try using the glide feature of your new helipack. Jump, and then press and hold the X button in midair to glide.
Gonna stand by the explosives. There we go. I will say I am glad that the last Ratchet and Clank game came to PC, but I think they really missed out by not at the same time, before or after or whatnot, bringing an official version of the originals, or even the first game's reimagining to PC. I have not played Crack in Time. I haven't played Ratchet and Clank: A Crack in Time, which I think is actually the first game in the series that isn't a pun or joke. But anyway, so I don't know a huge amount of the story. I know that there's parallel worlds with a different version of Ratchet and Clank. And from what I've seen, I think it just continues the main story. I think it's a direct continuation. Ow. Okay, gotta be careful. Now, let me check something here. So I know I cranked up the resolution. Wonder if maybe I cranked it up too much. 3 times native. Let's try dropping it down to 2 times native and see if that helps. seem to be helping. It's probably just a high load area. Let's pop it back up to 3 times. All right, I was just checking some final stuff. Okay. We're not going to go there just yet because once we get on this train, it moves and then we're moved to a new area. I want to explore as much as possible. There we go. Need to get to this thing. Also, for anyone thinking that, oh, I can just farm the bolts that I need from that thing that spawns the robot dogs, because robot dogs also drop bolts. Those little spawning things have a maximum number of bolts that they contain, and each time that they spawn a dog, it uses up some of those bolts. That's the bolts that the dogs drop. So the more bolts you have, so the more dogs that are spawned, the more bolts that you'll have. Sorry, the fewer bolts it will have, and the more you'll have to get through. Also, as you saw, I didn't really get anything for that gold bolt other than just getting the gold bolt. So I think if I go to items, you can see there found and used. You can see like backpack, head item, foot upgrades. And we're gonna have a lot. There's a lot of weapons. And since unlike in the later games, this one is basically set up. The weapons are the weapons. There's really, once you get a better version of a weapon or one that you prefer, there really isn't a huge reason to keep going with one. So the bomb glove probably isn't going to be in our slot for too long. Also, this was a big deal when it came out. And I forgot, I want the pyro fighter for this one. The reason for that is pretty simple. The bombs do not hold the momentum. Their flames are projected forward in a cone though, so they're good. We're going towards the big, busy section. There we go. And it automatically pulls us in to the station. Bye, little gremlin. Bye, little gremlin. Okay, so that's the way we're supposed to go. can tell where it's kind of struggling a bit because the music audio slows down. It ain't because of my computer, by the way. Although, maybe I'll check in, see if there's some preferred settings online. Defaults work generally, though. It's just it's a big old town, big
Dispense with
old
the
metropolis.
pleasantries, Lieutenant. My sources tell me you're behind schedule.
Drek
You
Cam.
must prepare this planet to be harvested for our new world.
Yes, sir. As you can see, everything is moving along as planned.
I'm counting on you, Lieutenant. And as your former commander can tell you, I don't take disappointment well.
Yes, sir. I won't fail.
Drek is destroying yet another planet.
Yeah, but if that's the kind of help he's getting, I don't think we have anything to worry about.
You should not underestimate Chairman Drek. He is quite dangerous. We must find Captain Quark.
Look, that lieutenant doesn't seem so tough. Let's take him out ourselves.
Perhaps we can persuade the lieutenant to tell us where Drek is.
Now you're talking.
All right. You guys see that? Ah. That's not where we were aiming, Ratchet. Alright, and we actually forgot to check in with Gadgetron. Yeah, the blaster would have been helpful. So yeah, so far, weapons don't seem all that strange, do they? Don't worry, we'll get there. Pretty sure that's everything that we can do in that. Do there, so let's head to here first. Yeah. That's everything that we know that we can do at least. Sometimes, you know, if you miss an area, the game will say, hey, you need to... The Gadgetron AI help voice will pop up and say, hey, I've detected that you need this item. There is you can get it on this planet. Alright. So, as always, there are multiple places, and yeah, I'll full up on, well, not full, but enough. Alright, oh, sorry guys. So we're gonna need this. And we're gonna go this way first. Sand sharks. Actually. Go. So yeah, we're probably going to be using the blaster way more than the bomb glove now. Bomb glove, I think, does more damage, but its range is nowhere near as good. And the blaster has a decent block on it, so Pyroblaster is just generally good for wiping out enemies. So, a different path we couldn't have taken before. We've had to come back. What is this going to lead us to? Also, in case it wasn't obvious, Insomniac is the Crash Bandicoot guys. I don't know why they seem to like explosives that are like super contact sensitive, but they do them. Okay, this is one that we actually need to use the blaster for. Because otherwise this would have dropped us right on top of one of them, and we would have had to get out quick. And that would have meant we would be out of bolts. Well, not out, but would have taken some damage or had a problem with bolts. There we go. Oh, right, the hacker. I thought that I almost forgot that this was in this one. The trespasser, I mean.
Lasers are mounted on each ring of the Invincilock. Aim the lasers at the receptors on the outside ring to turn them green. All receptors must be green before the Invincilock.
Yeah, they call it the This is also something I find really hilarious in a... geez, that's a real thing in this. Or a thing in real life, I guess I should say. Gadgetron basically makes everything in these games. And that means that they make the Invincilock. And they also make the Trespasser. So they made a lock that they claim is unbeatable, and then they made a thing specifically to beat it. Go. More sharks. Let's see how you like some fire. Alright. Now, if memory serves, I need to crouch and go. Oh, what was it the other side. Or maybe I'm just wrong. Nope, just wrong. Could have swore that one of those was one of the top pipes in some area in this game was open. There we go. Go. Yeah, I missed something. Probably a swing. Or just straight up an opening in the fence. Okay. Ah, hey, man.
No signal whatsoever. This downtime is killing me.
Do you need medical attention, sir?
Don't be so literal, son. The problem is I'm stranded on this backwater planet and my star client is nowhere to be found.
Hey, we saw you on that info bot. You're Skid's agent.
Was Skid's agent. Haven't seen him since our ship crashed. And an agent without a client is like a flea without a dog. Say,
good
you look
comparison.
like an athletic kid. If you can bring back the championship prize from the hoverboard races in Blackwater City, I'll make you my next star.
We have no time for trivial matters, sir.
I could be the next Skid McMarks.
So yeah, this is something we can't complete while we're here. We gotta get over there. We gotta get to the planet and get there and complete the hoverboard race. Before we do that, though, we need to head over here. Hey, Skid.
It's him, Skid McMarks.
That man from the infobot.
In the flesh, little dude. You guys get a load of that epic space battle I was in?
We saw you, screaming for help.
That was like a war cry. My agent and I got ambushed on the way to hoverboard practice.
Did he survive the crash, sir?
He's okay, but I've had a little trouble getting back to my ship due to my sprained ankle.
Oh, come on.
If you can take out all the sand sharks, I just might have a spare hoverboard for you.
We'd love to help you, Mr. McMarks, but Ratchet and I need to find Captain...
One of your boards? I've always wanted a decent hoverboard. Well, all right. You just keep that foot elevated.
I will point out that Clank very much being the idealist does make Ratchet seem a little bit self-centered. That's one that's commonly missed. Go over there and you gotta use some kind of explosive. You can't just hit it with your wrench. But yeah, so even with these sand sharks, it's still the same as the robot dogs in the last area. They have a thing that spawns them. And those things that spawn them have a set number of bolts that they can release each time that they spawn a new creature. They use up some of the bolts, and that becomes the creature's drops. So, you know, just leaving the spawn thing and letting it spawn infinite will eventually wear it out, and then you'll just have enemies that you're killing for no reason. Just wasting ammo. Alright. 19 more sand sharks, 2 more spawners. Should all be over here. Oh, great. I missed one sand shark somewhere. Oh, there you are.
Here, man. Catch.
A brand new Z3000. You can't even buy these.
Well, I got a bail. Catch you dudes at the hoverboard races.
You've just acquired a Gadgetron Z3000 hoverboard. Use your new hoverboard at the racetrack in Blackwater City on Planked Wheel Ride.
Alright, so that's literally all we can do here. I mean, there is technically a gold bolt we could find off in the distance over there, but I don't remember off the top of my head how we're actually supposed to get there, so. I remember it being something that was stupidly easy, like going a different way or something, but all right, time to get to the next planet. Okay, so we've been to there, we've been to there. Just the logging site. Meanwhile, aboard Chairman Drek's flagship, Eudora.
Yes, quite lovely. That should just about do it. Commander, we are finished with this world. Commence towing our planet to its next destination. Lieutenant!
Yes, sir.
You have fulfilled your tree quota. Barely.
We are ready to return to base.
Not so fast, Lieutenant. Just because we don't need any more trees doesn't mean they should have them. Destroy everything.
Yeah, evil for evil's sake. And you know what? It's refreshing in today's stuff. I mean, even in my own D&D stuff, I like my villains to be not admirable, but I prefer to say understandable. Yeah, they're evil, undoubtedly. But their reason for being evil is something that most people could understand, is like, yeah, no, maybe I could see that if I had some really twisted logic. Also, new bath. So yeah, these trespasses are pretty easy. They do get a little bit more complicated later on when they start introducing blockers. Because then you have to start taking order into consideration. There we go. So yeah, this whole section is a place is a thing you couldn't have done if you didn't have both the grappling hook and the trespasser, which you need the grappling hook to get the trespasser. There we go. Oh, that's not good. Okay. Something I forget somewhat frequently is that this game doesn't have any real coyote time. For anyone that may not know what that is, in most games, especially modern games and modern platformers, they have what's typically called coyote time. Basically, for a few frames after when your character's hitbox technically hits the ground, technically leaves the ground, you can still jump and have it be a valid jump.
Tapping the triangle button, you can quickly switch between your two most recently used weapons.
So this is where the blockers start coming in. Because you see, you could use this one to hit it, this middle, but you couldn't use either of the outsides. So that's where the blockers start becoming a problem. Start making it a little bit more complicated. Hey, man. Yeah, we're not worth it.
You sure
Well,
showed him.
Ratchet's not worth it.
Did.
Is your current occupation leaving a rotten taste in your mouth? Then you need to know about BTS, Blog Tactical Research Station. Hi, I'm Supreme Executive Chairman Drek, and we here at BTS are seeking motivated individuals to fill positions in these exciting careers. Grind boot tester, warhead assembly technician, mutant animal husbandry, robot repairman, suck cannon test dummy, and administrative assistant. So call BTS. Build our weapons while you build your future.
I'm calling BTS today.
Now we're talking. Did you see all the cool gadgets they're making? Let's go get some.
No, we must continue our search for Captain Quark.
You're absolutely right.
I am?
Sure. We need to find Quark. Although when we find him, wouldn't it be nice to be able to tell him where Chairman Drek is?
I suppose.
Well, we go to the space station and talk to the scientists. They work for Drek, so they're bound to know where he is.
I am unsure about your logic.
You think too much. Come on, let's go.
He's a robot. That's literally like primary function is think too much. So yeah, that path that was locked behind two gadgets that are optional up to this point, one of which requires the other, is our main way of progressing and required us to have those items. So, entirely optional, entirely missable. Aha.
Hi there, Fuzzball.
Oh, Glove of Doom is like one of my favorites. I am getting that. Just you hold up, baby. Papa's coming. Glove of Doom, there's a, I forget which one it is. It's a bodyguard one. And then there's also a chainsaw one. It is also a personal favorite of mine. The chainsaw one I really like because its shots ricochet and bounce. Let's try this way first. So in enclosed areas, that one is just a melter. Especially in the later games where you can upgrade, where they upgrade over time. And the upgraded version of the ones with the bouncing shots will also split. It's like, oh, just a room full of projectiles. Another path that is potentially missable. Not a lot on this path just yet. But still. Also, I like how another thing I like about this game. If you kill an enemy with fire, the bolts they drop are singed. I like that. It's a little detail, but it's a little detail. It's like, yeah, no, that would make sense. They're a little bit ashy. There we go. We need 7,500 for the Glove of Doom. I want that glove. But yeah, so for everything but the Rhino I was talking about earlier, you can get all of those guns without any real trouble during just normal gameplay. The only one that is difficult to get is the Rhino itself. Okay, it just looked a little out of place, and there's a little alcove, so I figured I'd try. I don't think I've ever done a playthrough where I got all the gold bolts. Maybe that could be another objective if I still want to keep playing after we've beaten the game and gotten through it.
you a map of the world by pressing the select button or
So yeah, and you can kind of see where you've gone, objectives, things like that.
pressing the right panel.
Oh, and something else that weapons upgrading would also be increasing ammo, increasing the ammo supply. So it's like, this only has 200, but as it upgraded, because it's a rapid fire weapon, they might increase it to 300 or even 400 over time, allowing you to carry more and not having to worry so much about ammo. As with most games at the time, they iterated. Ooh. They iterated on the games. It's like, well, what worked, what didn't, what was annoying, what can we do to make it better? Unfortunately, most games are not like that nowadays because, well, not because the game developers don't care. The game developers definitely do. But because, the people that are paying them want the games out as quick as possible and want it as safe as possible. And adding new mechanics, figuring out what you did right and what you didn't is a very iterative process and takes time. Time that most game companies aren't willing to give the developers. Hey, we don't even have the Cup of Doom yet, although we've got the money for it. That head back in. Also, something I was always afraid of when playing these games as a kid is that the game devs would hide an explosive crate in those crate piles that you couldn't see, kind of try and get you. I don't remember it ever actually happening. It was a completely unfounded fear. It was definitely a fear. Come here. You get burnt. Yes, I took a hit. And yes, I don't care.
Sweet!
Gadgetron's suck cannon can vacuum up multiple enemies, then fire them out as high-caliber missiles. Caution, enemies must be small enough to fit inside the barrel.
Yeah. This is also, so this is like the first actually weird weapon that we get in this, the suck cannon. Suck in small enemies to fire them out as projectiles.
I got some great bargains for you today.
Go of Doom. So, Glow of Doom, toss that out. It lets out all these little guys. And what do? Well, if there was an enemy nearby, they'd run around, they'd run up to him, bite him, and explode. They're some of my favorite because I love little things like that where it's like, just toss them out and they do the work. All right. So we're good on that. Blarg Station is up next. Actually making a real good time. Still got a half an hour for a normal stream. And surprisingly enough, I'm not... Oh boy, I was about to say I'm not yawning, but I was just about to yawn. Alright. Trespasser. Go. This is a pretty easy one, because it's like, look, you gotta line them all up. So, if we go outside the station, Ratchet can't breathe. Clank doesn't need air. So for ones like this, these are their way of doing like Clank levels, so to speak. Or at least in this first game they are. Clank has a punch, but that's about it. He does still have his glide. That's a useful thing. Also, something else I want to point out. At the same time as this, like I said before, Insomniac was cooking. They had Ratchet and Clank, Sly Cooper, and I think one more that I'm forgetting of right now. But they were like Sony's bread and butter as far as console exclusives in the PS2 era. Also, just look at how creative this is. Like some weird green planet that looks like it has constant radiation storms. Some odd purple thing covered in craters. And then something that looks like Saturn. Or, well, Neptune, actually. Obviously, there's going to be some inspiration from real-world stuff. That's just how inspiration works. But still. There's a lot over there, and the game does not like that. Oof. Really dragging there. It's that one specific spot. Now, Clank has his own special stuff. That guy, we can't get past. He'll just bite us and kill us. But
You have just activated a Gadget-Bot. To command a Gadget-Bot, hold down the triangle button and select Wait, Follow, Attack. attack or enter.
Go, little guys. We'll also kill everything else in that room. I continue to collect bolts. Also, one interesting thing about Clank, he if a box falls on him, because he's the size of a box, so punching into one can sometimes cause the other box to fall straight on him. He'll just break the box. Now I need enter. Go, little guys. A new tool.
The Gadgetron Hydro Displacer uses Insta-faucets and Insta-drains. Using it, you can drain and fill pools. Our sensors do not detect any on this space station.
Yeah. So they're like, hey, you found this cool new thing? Can't use it here. So go somewhere else. It's another one of those things where it's like, hey, you found a place that you don't have the tools to actually do right now, so come back later.
I'm back.
Yep.
So you are.
And I found this.
Hey, cool. It's a, what is it?
A hydro displacer.
Great. I always wanted one of those, I guess.
So yeah, Hydro Displacer is something that will be very useful for us later. Not so much right now. Anything new? Oh, okay, we need
I got
that.
some great bargains for you today.
The Taunter may just seem like an annoying thing. Like it's just supposed to be annoying. Which,
Did you know you can place any gadget or weapon on your quick select? Just pause and choose quick select from the menu.
yeah, it makes those noises. It's supposed to kind of try and force the enemy over to you. For some reason. But we actually need it for the money-making glitch that we're going to have later, so I wanted to make sure we had that. Oh, dang it. I forgot. Dang it. Now we gotta wait through this whole thing twice. Alright, back one more time. Remember, everyone, in space, propellers still matter. No, they actually don't. Alright. Get out. Gonna take out the parasiter. Gonna collect what I can here. And actually, let's show off the Glove of Doom. So yeah, they run around and jump at the enemies. Not a lot of ammo, but really useful for if you don't want to have to get close. There we go. Big old button. And now the ship starts blowing up and we gotta run.
Thank you for selecting our automated self-destruct feature. Vessel annihilation sequence initiated. Please remove all personal belongings.
Got 45 seconds. You gotta be careful of those gas vents.
Seriously, I'm not kidding. This whole place is about to explode. Really?
Gotta go underneath for that cool below shot. There we go. And luckily the robot came with us.
This is Darla Gratch reporting live from Blackwater City. We've just learned that Captain Quark will be presenting the grand prize at the Intergalactic Hoverboard Championship, which will be held here over the next few days. In related news, this planet has recently been suffering from an infestation of strange amoeboid creatures. The city's administration has assured this reporter that every step has been taken to eradicate these nuisances. Darla Gratch, Channel 2 News.
Did you see that?
Yes, I hope that poor woman is all right.
She's fine, I think. I was talking about the hoverboard races.
So yeah, we've got our location for the hoverboard stuff now. That hoverboard stuff is actually where we can do the glitch.
Need a little help with these enemies? Try your taunter.
You know what? Oh, right. Don't have the taunter on the gadget wheel. Oh. Let's try it. Ah. Pisses them off enough that they come up to try and hit me. Okay. Okay. I just always kind of jumped over them. Tripped over their fire, you know? Okay. There we go. Cool. Also, something else that, once again, I don't know if it only showed up in the later games or if it was also in this one, but in New Game Plus, to kind of help you reach those higher bolt counts. And we're dead. To try and help you reach those higher bolt counts, something that they did is made it so that the more enemies you kill without getting hit, the higher a multiplier that you have goes up, making your allowing your bolts to reach you, allowing you to reach even higher amounts of bolts without having to spend a ton of time. Not sure if that's something that is like, yeah, we want to keep doing this thing where you need a ton of bolts for stuff. But we also realize that in New Game Plus, it can get kind of annoying still having to, you know, do all of that. So we're going to do this thing instead. Well, add this thing on so that it's a little bit easier. At least for people that are good enough at the game that they can go large amounts of time without getting hit. Screw off. It probably could have been using the sec cannon. Not here, though. This guy comes out. There we go. Also, yes, so those middle boxes you can still destroy. Hello! Really need... There we go. Dang it. Now, okay. That was stupid. Okay, okay. I try not to do this.
Hi there, Fuzzball.
But the ammo for this one's relatively cheap. Because the ammo for this one's like 40. Also, blaster ammo. Ah. Okay. Okay, you know what? You know what? You know what? I'm sick and tired of this. Bomb glove it is. Just all of you explode. Remember there being something of import in one of these. Aha. Another gold bolt. Those little things on the ground are something important, but they're something we're not going to get to do anything with for a bit. Honestly, I consider them more collectible than anything else. Oh, geez. Nope. Ah. Also, the suck cannon can also be used to collect bolts, so... goes. Oh. There we go. Love a Doom, that's how we should do it. And they give us 2 on our way out. Because this one's always a pain. Not as much of a pain if you know what you're doing, but still a pain. Well, she did drop a good amount of bullets. All right.
Thought I was a goner this time. Some nano-wit in genetics must have left the cages open again.
You could come down now.
Honestly,
Whoopa.
a gadget engineer deserves a bit more respect, if you ask me.
So, you are an inventor.
Gadget engineer. I create revolutionary devices for Executive Chairman Drek. For instance, Viola. My soon-to-be patented grind boots. Look, I need to get out of here so I can find a new job. How about I sell you these? At cost.
Sell? After we just saved your scrawny butt?
All right. I'll give you the employee discount, too. Well, thanks. I'm gonna get out of here while I still can.
So, we got ourselves the grind boots. A staple of this game series. Because honestly, they're just cool. Later on, I don't remember if any of them are in this game or if it's future games only, but you can also swap between rails and they have like shooting on them. It's all really cool. Okay. That's this world done. That's also going to be the end of our stream today. Let's get in the ship real quick. And we'll head over to Rilgar, because that'll get a save. And then we'll call it. Oh. All right, everyone. So, that was our first bit of Ratchet and Clank. Depending on how it goes, we might be just like a 2 or 3 stream kind of thing. Well, I don't got much else to say. So, as always, I hope you all have a wonderful day. And I'll see all of you next time. TTFN.